welcome to Nuki on this special episode 13, and we are just so grateful and blessed for today because it's a special day. It's a good one. Uncle Chi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's the weekend?
It was good.
It was
Raining, but happy Monday.
Thank
There we
you.
go.
Happy Monday. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest. Of the night. Is many people are going to ask who's this person. But me personally, I've known Beza. That's
You're gonna mention her name? Come on.
okay.
Spoiler
Well, who do we have? Okay, we have a special guest. I've known her since college, and she's a very ambitious young lady, I can say, that have a lot of ambitious things, and she's here today, so let's find out who she is. Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much. Do I introduce myself?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, listeners. Hi, Spani.
Who are you?
So my name is Beza with Girma, but I go by Beza since it's easier to pronounce.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of us Africans can relate.
So my American name is Beza. Drop the last 3 letters.
Okay,
My
there
name.
we go. Let's
There
go
you
with
go.
that.
So, what brought you here today? What do you got for us?
Awesome, guys. So,
Well,
there we go. Pump the
that.
brakes.
Yeah,
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
I
go
think
ahead,
she has
Spani.
fully introduced herself.
Oh, sorry.
I think she just give her name.
I'm just
and-
anxious to know.
Well, let's get to know Beza a little bit, okay? Good thing she give us her American name, Beza.
There we go. Now that you know my American name.
Exactly. So, Beza. Who is Beza? What does Beza do? And yeah, let's start with that.
Okay. So I'll give you a little bit background information.
Yes.
So I was born and raised in Ethiopia.
Shut up.
Ayo. And my mom, she has a British citizenship. So we moved to London, and then we ended up here in Colorado.
Nice.
So I went to high school out in Colorado. My senior year, I was here.
What high
and
school?
Smoky Hill High School. So any
All
listeners
the way
from
on the other
Smoky
side.
Hill?
All the way on the other side.
Shout out. Awesome. And then, my freshman year, I thought I wanted to do psychology. So that's when I went to UNC and met Spani.
UNC Bears.
There we go. And then I realized I didn't want to do psychology.
And you switched major?
Yes, I did. I switched
figured.
majors.
All of us did.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was like an 18-year-old who really didn't know what she wanted to do. And then I just completely switched schools in the end because I wanted to do computer programming.
Nice.
So yeah, I went to Metro for a CS degree, and I have family in programming, and I realized that's just not for me. Yeah. Kind of wish I had known that before I got into school, because then, you save a lot of money.
Yes. Oh, yes. Definitely.
Yeah, so that was like my educational path. I go to church. I go to a Christian non-denominational church,
Nice.
and I love it. We study a lot of Bible prophecy about what's happening right now, so it's pretty cool. And besides that, that's who I am.
You mentioned Christian. I know Ethiopia is like the original.
The original.
Like Christianity.
Or so they say. Just kidding.
What I wanted to ask, do you have the Orthodox Bible? I've been looking for that thing.
I do have it.
Do you have a copy to give away?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Yeah, please.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Good to know.
No, I've been looking for the Orthodox Bible
Bible.
because that's something that's funny.
Okay, I'm glad that you ask. It's good, you have to ask, and,
Right.
So
That's true.
yeah, good thing to know. Okay,
Are you satisfied with the introduction, or should she continue?
I think
Because I have a lot.
I think I have one more I wanted to ask.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's a lot of viewer watching going to be looking at this, beautiful young lady. They might be asking like, we don't want them to be coming on the comments like, who's this person? Is she single? Is she married? So
Spani,
what's her,
Spani,
Beza?
Nuki is not love connection.
I'm just it's a platform. People that are going to be watching,
They're going to be asking.
Yes, Beza.
No ring on my finger.
Okay.
All right. However, you understand that, take it that way.
Exactly. And don't worry. At the end, we will have our information also.
There you go.
No, we are not going to do that. Okay.
Oh wait, does she give permission to do that?
Well, we need her to sign a waiver.
There we go.
So she won't sue us when she gets too many calls.
All right. So, Uncle T.
Yes.
What question do you have for Beza?
As we know, Nuki is here for information, and then we don't just invite anybody, and whoever come here, they have valuable information. What do you have for us today?
All right, guys. So today I'm actually here to talk about life insurance. So even though, my background is in computer programming and computer science, I wasn't really what I wanted to do, especially because I just found myself behind a computer screen, hunched back for hours on end, trying to debug something. So I changed my career and I got into the insurance field. And through that, through life insurance, I was able to see, number one, how this is beneficial for people in our community. And number two, why it's important to get into life insurance when you're young. And so that's what I'm here under God's grace to talk about.
Amen. Good to hear. You have a follow-up?
Unless you do. I have many questions.
Go ahead.
So can you continue on that part where how is valuable for young people? Continue on that.
Okay, absolutely. So with life insurance, it's based on two things. It's based on your age and it's based on your health.
Okay.
Now, the older you are, the more expensive it is to have any kind of coverage,
Yes.
So what I found is that when you're young, you can get a huge policy on your life so that, when you pass away, this is something that can get paid out to your children. And the reason why this is so important is, especially among our community, is because when we think about inheritance, the first thing that we think about is generational wealth, right?
Yes.
We think there's certain families who have money and then their kids receive their money when they pass away. Well, what I've seen in my field and in my experience is that these people, they don't just have a bunch of money laying around, but what they do is that when they're young, they get life insurance. And, when they inevitably pass away, that money is handed down to their kids. So just recently, there was a payout for almost $100,000. And it was a 30-year-old that made the claim because their parent died.
Wow.
Yeah. So their parents had $100,000 coverage on them. And, God forbid, when they did pass, their 30-year-old kid just inherited $100,000. Now, if you're able to save $100,000 in 20 years, then kudos to you. You're in a good job. But speaking for the working class and the middle class, that's not something that's, number one, realistic or feasible. Okay. And so what I've seen is that, when you're young, like I said, for example, just today I was telling you, I sat with a kid. She was born in the year 2000. And
what is that? What year is that?
Right.
It's so weird how they're 21 now.
Yeah, exactly. And she got $250,000 for $130 a month. And that's an astronomical amount of coverage.
On that, so let's say for me, my child is born. Do I start, is it better to start right away?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
One thing we know, life here is very expensive, especially for us middle class, which is not really middle class. Lower class, actually. Lower class. Politician, they're trying to make us feel like we're on the same page.
Right, right.
But so it's very and also most of the time when people hear life insurance, they think is something expensive. What is how much? Let me just ask that. How much is it for a month? Per month? What is the low? How much is the lowest or the highest?
I mean, the highest you can go up to $1,000 a month if you want, and that's the thing.
It's funny. You're a Republican.
And that's a thing too. So, unfortunately, I feel like with many companies, what they do is they just try to misinform you about the coverage that you get just to get your money, right?
Yeah.
But the company that I work for, we're contracted to work with unions and credit unions. So we typically work with the working family.
Okay.
And so whatever we offer is between 3 to 5% of your monthly income after taxes. So for example, for a 20-year-old, they can literally spend $30 a month and have a $50,000 coverage, which is, like I said, for the price that you're getting, it's insane. It's $50,000 that can get paid out,
Yeah.
So obviously case by case, it's different and it's based on your needs. So, if I were to go over your coverage, then I'd ask you, well, do you have mortgage? Do you want, your student loans to be covered? Like, what exactly are you trying to get out of it? It's very personalized to your needs as opposed to just like a flat rate. Like what might work for you might not work for a family of 4, a family of 5.
Okay. I think that's a very good information then, because regardless how much you're making, then you're like, okay, there's something out there for me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned mortgage or student loan can be covered. Can you explain that? How does that policy package cover that as a whole? Is it like type of, if you can't be able, you are not able to afford to pay your student loan or your mortgage, then your insurance policy can pay that? Can you explain that whole process?
Right. So typically with life insurance, Spani, there are living benefits. Like there's a way you can access the money while you're alive. Yeah. But typically this is designed so that there's no financial burden on your family. Wow. For example, with student loans, right? You have a certain amount of student loans. Yeah. And if you pass, they can actually make your significant other or your child pay your student loans for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like your loan doesn't disappear when you die. And that's one of the misconceptions about the education system. They don't really disclose that information. Yeah. Because if they did, who would sign up for student loans? Right. I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, because you're burdening your family in the future. So basically, insurance on your student loans works like this. Let's say you got $100,000 on your student loans. Yeah. God forbid you passed, right? Then your entire student loan amount that's covered, so that $100,000 would get paid out to your beneficiary. So then at that point, hope to God they'll use it towards your student loans. Yeah. But obviously they have the option to do whatever they want with that money. But essentially with your mortgage and your student loans, it's designed to cover you, God forbid, when you pass. Yeah. And so these are protections put in place so that your family isn't burdened.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be nice if they paid it as you're alive.
I know, right?
I would insure all my loans.
But then it won't be life insurance.
Yeah. That's true.
As Africans, the way we were raised, the way the life we were used to, we're used to a community life.
Right.
Where my kid is my neighbor kid. If I'm not there, my neighbor is there to discipline my kid, to take care of my kid for me. That's how that's what we're used to. So why should people get insurance, especially life insurance, when they know if I leave, I have my community to take care of my kids?
That's a very excellent question. And I've had this discussion with my family because, they're Ethiopian and they believe in that system as well. There is a couple of reasons, but I'm going to enumerate. Okay. So the first reason is you're leaving a huge financial responsibility to the people in your community forever. Yes. And I feel like that has the potential to stunt growth within our community because we're always seeking for donation and charity in order to cover something as basic as a funeral. And even when you look at funerals, just based on the data, the cost for a funeral has been going up at 4% every year. Wow. So, right now we're young, we're in our late 20s to early 30s. By the time
he's 30.
Trying to cover him, I'm like, we're in our 20s, some of us.
Thank you, Beza.
You'll be more expensive.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, for the listeners, the current cost for cremation is $7,500. The current cost for a funeral is $15,000.
Wow.
In 20 years, cremation is going to be $15,000.
Right.
And then a burial is going to be $30,000.
or more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to always expect your community to cover that expense, especially as inflation is skyrocketing the prices of everything, I feel like is at a disadvantage, because what if 10 people died at a time? The community has to now raise $300,000.
Right.
And let's be realistic. Are they able to do that each time someone passes away as this, price keeps going up?
Sorry, Span. I have
No.
I have a follow-up question on
Yes.
that, because I'm speaking from what's happening.
Right.
Other than community raising your kids, now people have come together. They have start groups where they promise each other, like, okay, we start a group of when we contribute certain amount of money to enter in the group, and then pay monthly
premium,
or like if something happened, that's when you pay monthly, or like to cover whatever. So, and what should those? I don't know if you get my question before.
Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
why do? Because that's like a little bit life insurance, but like on the borrower side,
right?
So why would those people also get insurance or life insurance or?
Right. So in the Ethiopian community, that's what they have, and it's called Iddir. And basically, per family, they pay a small premium of like $20, and then they get $10,000 each if they were to pass away, and that can go towards a funeral. Now, you can prove me wrong, but if those systems work, why are people still relying on donations from church members and community members? Wow. So there's a fault
when it comes to money, there's a saying, the Bible actually, when you love money, there's never going to be enough.
True.
That's true, because you keep chasing after it.
Exactly.
So, like, oh, this covered the funeral. And we heard about, I don't know in the Ethiopian community, but like I have heard in our community where people fight over money during the funeral. Like, oh, let's find a cheaper one since we got this money from the community, so we can keep this. And, when it comes to money,
the
anything
evil side of people is
anything
exposed.
goes.
And I think that's what is important, that Beza is saying that we need to have those life policy, because for people to be able to fight over this, like, oh, let's do the cheapest one or not, because the life insurance policy company can cover that directly. You don't have to worry about that whole process.
Yeah.
Oh, Spunny, you work there too.
Oh, well, if you don't know, maybe this will be good for you. Well, first of all, let's ask him, do you have a life insurance policy?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
If you die today, Rachel will be good?
Oh, no, she's good.
She's
the first beneficiary.
Not your parent?
No. I'm married now. I'm married. Before I got married, it wasn't her. Boys and their moms.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I'm like, Mom, if you're watching.
But and I can say that I'm fortunate. Still, when it comes to money, I still think it's not enough. So and there are many people where their work don't provide those things.
Right.
Or they
That's
don't.
why Beza is here for this, Uncle Chi. My work does not. You wonder why Beza is here in the first place?
No, you're Republican. You guys did it on purpose. You guys have enough money to do that, but you did it on purpose. Anyway. So I don't know if Spani have a question.
No.
It was a trap question.
It was a trap question.
Yeah,
I say that.
So yeah, that's.
Well,
go.
The burial, let's emphasize more on the burial.
Sorry, actually, Spani.
Yes.
I wanted to add on to that, actually. Like, can you explain life insurance, actually? Because life insurance is like
a big umbrella.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to explain this very simplistically. So life insurance is an immediate sum of money that will get paid out to your beneficiary when you die. Now, young people watching and hearing this might be thinking, well, what's the benefit of me doing this if the person, if I'm not going to use this money, right?
Yeah.
So with my company's whole life policy, what we have built into it is cash value. So after 3 years, you start earning cash value on your policy at 5% each month. So with that money, there's 3 things that you can do. The first thing is a cash surrender, where you take that money out and you can use it however you want. The second thing is you can borrow against it. And lastly, you can use your cash value to pay your monthly premium for you. So of course, when you use your cash value, you're using from your total coverage. So it defaces your policy by the amount that you're using, but it's money that you still have access to nonetheless. So
after 3 years though.
Correct. If you're obviously under the age of 60. If you're over the age of 60,
look,
I'm
be gone anytime soon.
That's how the cash value starts right away. It's like, well, you are gonna die, so
Exactly.
That's funny. Sorry about that. Go ahead and ask your question.
A great question, a great clarification. And we talk about the importance of having the burial insurance, because so with the life insurance, is the burial insurance separate, or is something that is just within that one policy you have that for our viewer to be able to understand?
Good question. So the way that we market, right, life insurance is that this is money that can go towards your funeral. Now, if you want to use this money for any other reason except a funeral, you're more than welcome to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, for example, like I said, I've sat with quite a few Ethiopian families, and they have money for their funeral set aside, right? They have 15 to 30,000 set aside, but what they want is an inheritance for their kids.
Yeah.
So on the application, it looks like this is money that's supposed to go to a funeral, but they can say in their will, my life insurance is the inheritance for my kid.
Okay.
And so you can essentially use the money however you want, but the typical average family doesn't have $15,000 to $30,000 laying around.
Yeah.
So we market it as, hey, you know what? This is an amount of money. Like, you pay $20 a month for this. We will pay out $15,000 to pay for your funeral. Does that make sense?
Yes. On that, let's say I need the money. The funeral happens between the 3 years. How would that work? And I really need the money.
Oh, as in you're alive in this scenario, or you're dead?
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive, of course. I won't need it for my own funeral. But so let's say you need it. Something happened, a closest family member, spouse, God forbid. It happens, and okay, I really need this money to. I don't want to go to my community, because some of us have this ego,
right,
where we don't want to ask for help.
I don't want to ask for money, right?
Yes. But then you remember, I have life insurance. Let me see. I know they say 3 years, but let me see if I explain my situation. Maybe I can receive something before the 3 years.
As far as the cash value goes, there's really no leniency in that. If you're under the age of 60, cash value builds up at 5% after 3 years. And to be honest with you, if you look at Primerica, Transmerica, and New York Life, they don't even offer cash value. So
True.
Us,
she's mentioning her competition.
I am.
That's the whole point.
Yes. Okay.
So, even us offering that, it's to help our clients, essentially. There's a lot of protections to help our clients. And so with the cash value, there's really no leniency in that, especially because it's not a standard, no insurance company is required to do that. We just do that to help our clients out, just in case anything does happen. You know what I mean?
Life, you never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's really a great way to explain it. So let's dive into more with this.
Spanish is not satisfied.
No. Beza is here. She's an expert into this field,
yes.
And I think it would be really
we have
great.
to take advantage
exactly
of
for our viewer and our people to know that life insurance is something they should take it seriously. Okay, so unfortunately, some of our parents, when they get here, they are old. They are above the age of 60.
Right.
So in those who are in that boat, what will they do, or how will they do it? To be able to have certain type of cash value, or access that if they die, because if they're above 60, we all know the
chances
of them surviving the next 15 or the next 20 is
Pretty low.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Most Republicans are old.
Most Republicans.
You know, and it's hard for them. Probably they don't know about life insurance, and to them it's like, okay, I'm here, thank God, you know.
Right.
And how can we help those in that bracket to know that, like, okay, at this age I can still be able to qualify for life insurance that can be better to better my family? Is there different criteria or a different way to say this one are immigrant, they're coming, you know, we cannot put this policy.
Cannot risk it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So they will qualify, obviously, case by case. It could be different. I know that, you know, if someone migrates to the United States without any kind of legal documentation, we won't be able to insure them unless they have an ITIN number.
ITIN, yeah.
You hear that?
So,
only if you are legal.
Exactly, you know. But as far as letting them see the value, and I've worked a little bit with the Ethiopian community. I'm actually trying to organize a seminar with them.
Nice.
Yeah. So what I've seen,
the Congolese and the Burundi community will be next on the list.
Oh, absolutely. I would love. I would.
No,
love
Nyuki
to.
can put it together, and then we can invite
and
you.
Beza can come and do the. Okay, that sounds good.
I would love to, absolutely, because you know what I've seen is that it's just a huge misinformation.
Yes.
A lot of people in my community that I've seen is that they felt like, you know, I hate to say this, but if a different nationality were to approach them about life insurance, then they feel like, I don't know about this. Yeah, it's a scam, or I don't know what I'm getting myself into. So they kept holding off.
Yeah.
So the first Ethiopian client that I had, he was so amazed. He was like, I had no idea this was what life insurance is all about.
Africans,
you know?
we don't trust outsiders.
Oh my gosh.
No.
We consider outsiders.
No, true. Same thing with me. Like, no, it's something, you know, I've always wanted. I thought about it for so long. And I even have, you know, especially when I got married, there was this white
male.
No, white person came to me about, you know, life insurance and all these things. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't
trust. Yeah.
But when Beza reached out to me about this, I was like, yes, this is something I've, you know, wanted to get myself into it for a long time. And when she started explaining to me all those, you know,
and she can scam you though. I mean, she can, but she won't.
No way.
But, and also, I think
it's okay.
I think that's another way to promote Pan-Africanism.
Exactly.
Because, you know, African for Africans. But
right.
Again, focusing on the African community and Africanism or Pan-African, there's this conflict. For me, when I'm thinking about leaving something for my kids, I'm thinking two things. Life insurance, of course, is really good. But I'm also thinking of leaving them something back home.
Yes.
And that can be conflicted. We many people, like, and then it goes back to my kind of question, like, why should they get it when they know, like, oh, I have something back home. You know, my kids are set. I have lands and I have built this for them. Even here, like, oh, I have left them something. But like when we, because it's all of us, when we're thinking about investing, is never in one place. And if it's one place and it's here, I applaud you. That means you're focused in life. But so, like, when it comes to that, when somebody's conflicted with those two things, why should they get life insurance when they feel like I have done my part?
Well, I can give you like a practical example, right? So 30 years ago, actually not 30 years ago, let's say 50, 60 years ago, $100 bill had more value than it does today.
Right.
And so whatever you have saved up, you know, in the future, it might be a little bit defaced because of inflation. And so even though you said, you know, you do have property or you have some sort of land, that's good. You know, that's good to have. But with the value of everything going up, it doesn't hurt to have an extra cushion, because we all know what's going to happen. I mean, if you look at the market right now, I always look at the stock market, and it's like a roller coaster right now. You know what I mean?
I don't even want to.
I don't even look at it. I mean,
my investments.
Yeah, but then, you know, that's the risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, actually, on that, the currency value. So you mentioned how like the funeral business is going up, and you give us the projection of certain years to come is going to be higher. As life goes up and the cost of living go up, do you guys charge more to your clients?
No, we're one of the 2 companies in the United States that do not do that.
Okay,
we do not do that at all.
No, then that's good, because some company will just start ripping you off as if they're like, oh, let's charge you more because we have other people to cover, kind of thing,
Yeah.
And again, following that question, some life insurances have scammed people. Some, they take the money they have, and African community too, they know this. They do it to each other. Like, they will start this group where it's like, okay, we start as 3, right? I'll bring $500, for instance. You bring five, and then we give it to him. And then
the next time
I bring somebody else, and then the money will give it to you. Like, for the person to receive some money, they have to bring somebody, which means there's no money really. So if it stops,
you lose all your money.
You lose all your money. And some life insurances have some do that. We have seen big corporations do those things.
Yeah.
And that might be one of the things people fear.
Right. And that's a logical fear to have. I'm not bashing on any company. So I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to say their name just in case. But there is one company. And actually one of my clients, she used to work for them, and then she quit, and then she got insurance with us. But that was their requirement, right? So they had their agents bring in 100 people to even work for them. So whoever works there, they know exactly what company this is. Yeah. So I am taking shots, and I think that's really unfortunate. Because, like you said, first of all, they're basing their entire business model on their agents' circle of influence. So with our company, it is a private financial. What this means is we work with contracted organizations. So we don't typically work with the general public, and I was explaining that to Spani. But I did get special permission from my managers to work with people in my circle of influence, because I let them know, hey, I'm from a pretty big community and they can benefit from having this. So can I go out of my way on my own time to like let them know? And he gave me the permission for it. But we typically work with credit unions, firefighter associations, teacher associations, like very specialized groups. And so those unions and those organizations actually pay us, and we have a relationship with them to service their clients. So typically we, I said.
So we do need you, actually.
We do need you now.
Because it also makes sense, because also they can't, those companies that they're working for, it's more like a business. It's like this health insurance is how companies are working with other companies, and they use their employees to. Right. So it makes sense, and it's very, honestly, I don't know. I thank Spani for
bringing Beza here.
Because it might also the process might be hard for an average person that want to get life insurance on their own. So. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I think a lot of young people who are watching and that have never thought about getting life insurance, it is something that I would say to get, especially to get in contact with Beza. If you feel like, I don't know anything about this, I've been ripped up before. It's good that, we also want more young people to get involved in those type of business, so that they can be able to educate our community, our people, to be able to be part of this.
Yeah, one thing about Nyuku, we kind of have given up on the older generation.
You're like, we're focusing on the young ones.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, let's get our, the same agency. Maybe we can do better. And doing better is like in every areas, like everything that either they ignore or everything that they choose not to.
Like look into,
or they don't know. So then that's,
just to add to that, I think a lot of people may be like, this boy has been going off the line, and a lot of
sorry,
people.
Spani.
A lot of
she didn't pay us to come here. We looked for her because they might think like, oh,
They
you guys are in it.
Right.
No, a lot of people in our community, the vast majority has more than 4 kids.
Yes.
They have more than 4 kids. That is
standard.
True, that is standard. And to those people with all those kids, this is something I would say to try to get yourself into it.
Right.
Because if you think about it, if you are not here today, who's going to take care of those 6, 7 kids?
But okay,
True,
on
true.
on the same thing though, if let's say, hopefully they do it, and then you leave that amount of money. When it comes to money, like I said, blood or not, people, let's say you have 5, 6 kids. And most of the time when we think of, like when people, before they get paid, they spend their check.
Right.
So, then when your dad or your mom left life insurance, so you know exactly the amount. It's like, if I take out that one and that one. No, seriously. We've seen people kill their parents or their parents to get the insurance so they can get the insurance money sooner.
Right.
So yeah.
I'll let Beza, do you want to respond to that?
A little bit, yeah. It's funny because when I first got into this industry, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, this is a very dangerous field. Like, you're insuring people for $100 to anywhere north of like $500,000, and that was my biggest concern. But for example, as a parent, you can hide the fact that your kids are your beneficiaries. So as long as you're the policy owner, you have every single right down to, what percentage will go to what kid or when you'd want them to know. Like all of that, you can will it in. And we're actually also one of the only companies that allow you to have a free will kit. So we can actually help you draft the will, for free.
Nice.
And this is something
you don't have
that
to get a lawyer. Nice.
Nope,
Okay.
Yep. No lawyer fee, no nothing.
Forget about the listeners right now. We're gonna have to talk.
Okay.
So on top, speaking of that, is it okay to leave your information?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And for the listeners, can we read out your number?
Yes, you more than.
No, you can go ahead and read out the
Oh,
number.
okay. I'm like looking at Swanee.
Oh, you want to do that now, Uncle T?
I mean, we might forget.
Can you put down the video? Oh, for the listener.
Yeah, the listeners.
listeners.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your office number? I don't want
I can give my personal
You
number.
want to give your personal number? You sure?
Is that serious? You see
Hey,
how
guys.
invested she is.
Listen, she's giving you guys her
For life
personal number
insurance.
for life insurance purpose only. Beza, anyone try to text you any kind of way, let me know and let me know who that person is. I will deal with them.
I sure
Okay.
will. Awesome. So my phone number is 303-523-8713. So again, that's 303-523-8713.
The good thing about this is like they're going to rewind it 15 minutes, 15 seconds.
And then just hear it again.
Yeah.
True. And this is really nice. Life insurance is something people should take seriously, especially our older generation, our parents,
we give
any
up. It's
young
funny.
person that's getting to life and you
Right.
are getting married, or you if not you are getting married, even as you are getting older, think about those things. It can benefit your loved one down the road. Even you are not thinking about having a kid now, but have that thought in mind, because maybe 10 years from now there's capital that has been built up.
Yeah, that's true.
How can we convince these kind of people? There's a saying where it says, like, you see how we're saying we need to leave things.
Right.
We need and when it comes to burial, the casket is money, the land is money. But there's some people that say, look, I'd rather live my life, you only live once, because I know they're not gonna pull me in the river. They're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
How can we convince these people, like, okay, let's leave less burden to those you leave behind? Because I was reading Mao, and he says something like all this, like he didn't, like, like when leaders leave, They build statues of them. They whatever, like they have a day dedicated for them. He's like, I won't be here to see this.
Right.
So I don't care. Whatever I have here is what I'm going to deal with. How can we convince those people that think like, look, either way, however I'm going to leave, people are going to get together and put this together for me?
So, I mean, there's a couple ways you can look at that, right? So, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't come from a super well off background. And, you know, when I do have kids, I want them to have it easier. Not that I had it the worst way possible, but for sure, I want to make sure that they didn't have to go through the struggles that I went through because I've already been through that. There's no reason why they should walk the same struggle that I walked through in order to get where I am today. And so if it's someone that has a family, then I think it comes down to self-reflection and, you know, to see, okay, well, this is how I came up, and do I really want to set back my family 5 steps or 10 steps or whatever behind by doing something so greedy like that? And at the end of the day, to be honest, I've been in this industry for quite some time, and I've met with clients that are like, you know what, I want to donate my body to science. Well, guess what? Even if you do that, if you have outstanding debt and if your estate is still not closed, someone has to pay for it. They're going to put that burden on your family. And so you can't give someone a conscience, but you can give them an idea of how much they can mess up someone's life by their action.
Wait, hopefully Jackie Chan is listening to this.
Because with his son.
Because he said something. I don't know. Is it true? How true is it? He was like, I won't leave anything for him because if he can make this money, then he'll be wasting my money.
Right. I saw that too. I was like, oh wow. That's tough.
It really is tough. You know, that's really complicated.
Rich people problem.
Rich people's problem. Yeah, let's deal with that.
But his son is an actor, so maybe he has something for him. But still, that was
pretty cold.
Ruthless, you know.
Well, if he can make money even more than his dad, then that's the reason, you know.
Right.
But I think
maybe he has something. He just don't want to give his son a big head. Like, oh, I don't have to do anything. My dad
just gave me $10 million.
So hopefully.
Yeah.
No, that is a different point. You know, hopefully my kids will not be in that situation, but I think it's very important. You know, life insurance is something that, you know, it will help if the more of our people in our community started getting to this life insurance thing, you know. And also, since we are talking about this, I want to mention something because, yes, about the life insurance policy. Okay. I heard, you know, in the past, certain group of people, certain African, will fake their death. They will try to go home to say that they'll go back. Yeah, and they died there. They have this doctor made a fake death certificate. And they bring it up here, and when they process it, their loved one get the money. They send the money there, but they're living all this fancy type of life. You know, it is good to let people know life insurance is good for your kid, but when we start taking things out of to that extent,
greediness is a very bad thing.
It's really bad, and we need to stop doing that. You know, because we are ruining the whole generation that could benefit from this.
Some people do not care.
Right, unfortunately.
Some people do not care, man.
That's just wrong.
But yeah, no, it is wrong. I don't know if she has something to say about that.
No, I was just really shocked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's something that
when it comes to money, anything goes.
Anything goes. Yeah, so I've heard a lot of people have done it, but it's not good if somebody is in this mind state they're thinking, because it's good you can get the money today, 100,000.
Like, how do you sleep at night when you do that? Like, how do you even enjoy the money?
And we all know money disappears really fast if you don't know how to handle
the way
money.
It comes is the way it goes.
Right, that's true.
But
and I mean, you're kind of like Rob, especially if you have kids and you do that, it's
they don't care.
Oh my gosh!
And imagine they doing to their own kids.
Right,
I'm telling you.
That's true.
No.
And that's when Spunny say, "You're not a real Christian if you do that."
Not true, you are not.
You're like, I know exactly what he's gonna say.
No, you are not. Let's be honest, because why would you do that in the first place?
Yeah.
You ruined the whole
The point of
generation.
it,
Yeah,
right.
not the point of
They
it.
didn't read, what is the Proverbs book of the Bible? Like, you're supposed to leave something for not only your kids, but
To the
your
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. They're not real Christians.
They're
They're
not.
not reading their
No,
Bibles.
I'm telling you. If you want to debate, come and let's have that.
Come at me, yeah.
No, definitely. So, Beza, quick clarification, because a lot of people tend to confuse life insurance with health insurance.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Someone may be thinking I'm paying for health insurance.
Now, health insurance, we need to talk to these Republicans because they own most of their companies.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
I did that on purpose. But anyway, go ahead.
So, so there is a pretty big difference, right, between health and life insurance. So, health insurance it's a type of insurance that pays for your medical bills. Now, with life insurance, in my company, we do have a health plan. I'm not licensed to sell health insurance, so I don't really touch that too much, but I do understand how it works. Basically, our health insurance at my company, we pay the difference that your health insurance doesn't pay for. So, for example, let's say you had a procedure done and it cost you $10,000.
Yeah.
And your health insurance is like, Spani, we're only going to pay $5,000 and you have that outstanding balance remaining. With our company's health insurance plan, we cover the $5,000 outstanding payment that you'd have to make out of pocket.
Do you have to have paid, or do you have to be a member a certain amount of time, or if it happens?
So it's called an A71 plan, and I believe it's like something north of like $10 or something a month, and you have $120,000 for life. So
as soon as you start paying, or you have to be?
Oh no, as soon as you get it. Yeah, as soon as, so for example, let's say you got the A71 today, so then you have $120,000 health coverage.
$10 a month?
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Where do I sign up?
I can get that information.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, no.
I'm being serious.
I know you are. Yeah, I can get that info for you. I'm a licensed life insurance agent, so I don't really sell health products.
Okay, makes
but
sense.
I can definitely get that. And I have the health plan too. I mean,
no,
it makes sense to have
wow.
it. You know, yeah,
Wow,
it makes sense to have it.
She's just not anybody. She's licensed to talk about all these things. I'm glad that you have all this life insurance, this health, all these things, because if I remember my early 20s, I was reckless. Probably,
Right.
I did
that's why car insurances are very expensive.
exactly.
They know, yeah.
Because they know these young people, they are crazy and they're out of control. But and here we are. So just a quick clarification. Let's say, for example, in my case, right, that I'm just going to give a number. People, this is not what I'm paying. Let's say I'm 30 today and I got qualified and accepted for $15 a month.
Okay.
Will that $15 continue if I get a 50 today?
Yes.
Am I still just going to pay that $50 a month?
Yes, we're the only one of the two companies in the United States that does not change your premium as your age gets older. So yeah, it would never change. This will be the same flat rate that you pay for your whole life unless you get more coverage. Obviously, if you get more, it goes up a little bit. Yeah, but I kid you not. I mean, I have so many examples because I've seen different types of clients, 18-year-olds all the way to like a 75-year-old. Wow. And yeah, one of my clients, she's in her 30s. Her dad got her $25,000 coverage when she was 8. Okay. So $25,000 coverage when she was 8. Now she's 30 or 30 something, and she's only paying about 11 something for that.
Nice.
And it's never going to change. I know some companies, for the viewers and listeners watching this, you might have heard of the Gerber plan, and it's like health or life insurance for kids. But at the age of 18, 21, 25, it goes up. So,
speaking of age, how long have your company been around?
Since 1951.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's been around.
Never mind.
It's been around for quite some time.
All the bad, all the good, all the worst. That's good.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
With the Gerber's life that you mentioned, is that something you know very well?
I know enough to know that our products can beat it.
Can you talk about it? Okay, your product can beat
Coca-Cola going against Pepsi.
No, because she mentioned something that's very important for also new parent. You know, the life insurance for the kids.
Yes, yes.
Until when they reach 18, that's something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Right. Really. So with the Gerber plan, as I understand, they give a set amount of coverage, right? So I believe they start you off at about $25,000 to $30,000, and that's a whole life coverage. So whole life means
for the kids.
Yes, for the children. Yeah.
Okay.
You have the coverage for your entire life. Now, the downfall to the Gerber plan is that they promise you a premium as soon as you sign up. And then when your kid hits 18, 21, and I believe 25 and 30 is the other milestone age, they increase your premium based on the age of an 18-year-old, based on the age of a 21-year-old, based on, which to me is just misrepresentation to the highest extent. Like
it's all about money.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, if you're gonna market this product as something with such a low premium, then you need to also let your clients know this is not the set premium for life.
Right.
So with our company, what we have for children is called a Head Start program. It's a $25,000 coverage for kids. The premium never changes. So the 30-something-year-old
18.
Never.
And when they turn 18, can they take over the
policy?
The policy?
Yep. And
does it go up?
Nope.
No. Does the let's say the life insurance maybe payout go up if anything happened?
Like, explain that.
So let's say $30,000 as soon as you sign up, and then let's say the child turn 18 and decide, let me take over. Is it still $30,000?
Yeah, it's still the same premium, same coverage.
Okay.
So I mean, you've seen with with your son as well.
Yeah, he
has a $25,000 coverage, and I believe his was about. Do you remember? I think maybe it was about like $8 or $9.
Yeah.
So by the time he's 40, it's still gonna be $9. And it's still going to be a $25,000 coverage. That's why.
Unless if you want to increase it.
Exactly.
That's when the number changes.
Malachi,
exactly.
You listening?
Exactly. So you gave him a gift that he doesn't even realize he has, honestly. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a good deal for kids, honestly.
It really is. The more kids, the more I will be adding them to the list.
Oh, yeah. You're like the standard of sport.
Exactly. Because, Uncle T, you talk about like money is, sibling can start fighting over money, or our parent left this money, but this is a good example to avoid all those
it's really great when you get different for each child.
Right.
So anything happen, look, you have your own, and with your name attached on it. So
imagine with including you, your wife, number of your kids, okay, let's say maybe 3 or 4 kids, with less than $150 a month, you are paying for that for everybody, including your kid.
No, I don't think she was here for the listeners. She was. I know I have but like this, like, is also for me when it comes to investing. Like, there shouldn't just be one way of investing.
Right.
Yes.
Because when you're thinking about the future, anything can happen. And that's why they say, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
So I don't think she was here for the listeners.
She was here for you?
But then again, I'm kind of upset that Spanny didn't mention this to us.
Well, it's getting pretty hot in here.
Let's talk about that after the cameras turned off.
Wow. Well, Uncle T, it's good that you put me on the spot.
I have to.
I give you prompt for that. I don't know how I can say this, but hey, it's at least I did a big favor to the whole community.
All right.
I have Miss Beza here that can say, you know what?
At least we know now.
Now.
There we go.
Okay.
Better late than never.
If I have keep this whole resource away from the whole community, then you guys can crucify me for it.
Oh, maybe you were like, okay, instead of telling my friends, let me tell Everybody.
Yes.
Okay,
I think
that makes sense.
I look after the
sense.
community.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think that can get a pass.
Even if you take over a country, you won't be hiring your siblings just because they're siblings.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe we'll.
Thank you.
There we go.
You're not addicted after.
Thank you.
Okay. No. These are very valuable information because one thing, the misunderstanding and assumptions when we hear life insurance, we hear rich people.
Right.
Yes.
Only rich people can afford it. Yeah. So no, I'm very glad.
We have Miss Beza here.
Yes.
And you are glad that you found out that you can have a life policy for your little one as well.
Yes.
Multiples.
That's my point, because if you look at it too, we waste a lot of money, and
We do.
That's how I put it into perspective as well. I'm like,
my shoes won't send my kids to school.
Right. Right.
My expensive whatever won't send my kids to school.
And I've used that example too before. I'm like, okay, and like I said, when I sit with my clients, I mean, I've gone up in the ranks of my company fairly quickly because I don't do dishonest trade with my clients.
Yeah.
I like to keep it real because
and I can testify to that as well.
There we go. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
is that why you stop wearing expensive stuff?
Yes, Uncle T, yes. Like I said earlier, on my early 20s, I was reckless because I have nobody, I have nothing to worry about it. But now I have a family, I have kids.
Right.
So I'm not going to leave that burden on whether my wife or our family to take care of them when my wife or one of us, if you are not here. So that's why I started investing in all this long-term life insurance for myself, my wife, our son. He has his own. So,
Right.
No, that's so. If I say, okay, I want to hear more. I'm satisfied. Where do I find you? Do I come to you or you come to me?
Either or. For example, with Spawny, because I know we both have kind of demanding schedules, but because I knew I was going to do this, I did free up the next 3 weeks of my schedule a little bit to do a Zoom appointment with anyone that's interested in learning more. Nice. Even if you're not ready to like commit and you have an interest, you want to get more information, for the next 3 weeks, like I said, I made sure to, if anyone does want to have a Zoom appointment, I definitely will get them in to look at that. And if they want to do it in person, as long as, they have COVID. No fear. Yeah. That's the
Republicans
issue.
They don't believe in COVID, so.
Wow, Uncle T.
Today, I'm
trying to bring some good verses in the community for the people to benefit with this. You are here taking shot at me.
Something tells me you're a Republican.
Yes, I am. That's why he has been taking shot at me throughout this segment. But to let the people know, hey guys, Beza said that she can meet with you guys, whether in person or Zoom, or you can text her or call her. Absolutely. She's really flexible.
For that specific reason.
Exactly.
Clarify.
For life insurance purpose only. Not anything else.
I have another question.
Yes.
Life happens. And with COVID, it has shown us anything can happen.
Yes.
Let's say somebody lose their job.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
They're not able to pay.
Perfect.
Not, of course, not lifetime, but like, at the moment.
Perfect.
While they're still looking for something.
I'm actually so surprised that you're asking this question. So like I said, we are private financial and we're contracted to work with union members. What that means,
they don't lose their job.
They go on strike. They do go on strike. And, with COVID last year, a lot of our policy owners were laid off. So with our company, we have what we call a strike waiver and a layoff waiver. So if you were to get laid off and if you were to go on strike, we waive your premiums for you so that you don't pay on it. We'll cover your payment. And you never have to back pay us for the months that we paid. I believe it's for 6 months at a time.
Wow.
So don't go on strike on purpose.
But if you do, then 6 months will cover you.
Okay.
And you can use that however many times you go on strike, however many times you get laid off. And so, yeah, we do our best to take care of our clients. Not gonna lie. So
that is very good. And you know, Uncle T, like, it is very good that you asked that question. Also, life insurance, you know, even when the money get withdrawn from my bank account, I don't even feel it. I don't even know. I just get a notification.
That means you have money.
Oh, please.
Republican. There's something. Anyway, let me stop there.
You know what? If you want to have the debate, okay, between Republican and you liberals, or
I'm neither. I think
you are neither.
I can't agree with both.
We will have you on our side more.
Yes. I feel like I agree with you guys most of the time, but when it comes to giving solution, that's when you guys lose me.
That's when. Well,
anyway.
The world is not fair, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. So and also, like, when they say, do you guys look at, like, okay, you haven't been employed for that long?
No.
Wow.
No.
Jesus Christ. I thought, like, I think
that was some of the exactly
yeah.
that
you have
to have a job, or you have to have some type of career
to
be able to qualify for life insurance, but it's not.
No, that's nice. That's nice.
If you get, for example, insurance with your employer, which if you already have that, you know, that's good for you. But in my professional experience, I don't prefer that at all for many reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that it's a contested insurance. So let's say, for example, and I mean, you think about it logically as well. Your employer tells you, I'm going to cover you for $500,000 and you only pay $5 a month. Do you really think they're willing to pay $500,000 when you only put in? Right. They're not.
And another thing too is if you get fired or change job,
it's
you
gone.
Get nothing.
It sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Oh, yes. I asked that question my previous work, and that's why for me, like, of course, it's good to have it.
So yours didn't transfer because you just started a new job?
Yeah. No. I'm working for the same organization. So the Colorado Community College of Colorado. Colorado Community College whole system is the same. So even though I'm changing jobs, it's within
the same organization.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's true. That's one of the million other.
No,
reasons.
I asked that question when I started. They're like, no, if you leave or get fired, then
it's gone.
That is gone.
Yeah.
And that's why.
So if you're thinking about leaving your job, I don't think is a good idea.
That's why you need Beza help to secure you with something that's completely independent.
Yes.
Right.
If you leave your job or not,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't
it's
matter.
Still there.
No,
right.
yeah, no. I just thought people would know because life insurance. These people, they're Republican.
That means they have insurance. Then, just kidding.
I'm telling you.
No. Is I don't know if it's funny or you have more to add to it. I think I ran out of questions.
I was just gonna say, you know, piggybacking off of what you said, it is contested. You know, when you quit, when you get fired, you don't have that. And worst of all, one of the ways that they market it so that you can jump on is by telling you that you can convert this to a personal insurance once you retire. Well, think about it.
Once you retire.
Exactly. So you started this job at 24, let's say, and you had a $30,000 coverage or whatever, right? So once you retire, now the retirement age is going up every year, but let's say you retire at 65 and you wanted to convert a $30,000 coverage, they're not going to take the age of a 24-year-old. They're going to assume the age of a 65-year-old.
Yeah.
And so your premium is going to be ridiculous. And if you want to go to a different company, they're all going to be like, well, you're senior now, so we're going to charge you senior graded.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I just think it's kind of like throwing your money into the air, really, because there's really no return on your investment. You're just basically paying your company $5 to $10, and you might not think it's a lot, but why not use that $5 to $10 towards something that's going to be with you for life, that's never going to change, and that's going to give you cash value, you know?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree. Uncle Chi, you good?
No, I'm satisfied.
You satisfied? 110%?
Yes.
Now you can't put any grudges on me because I didn't tell you anything?
No. I'm satisfied. No hard feelings anymore.
Okay.
Anymore.
Good.
Anymore.
Good to know. Okay. I think this might be my last question. Okay. Beza, what do we say to those people that may say, hey, you know what, I've been investing for so long, I have all my my money I put into an investment account and all these things. I don't need the life insurance. Like, what if you have knowledge with investing? What are the risks with that? Because we know with investing, there are times that it can go down. We're seeing it right now without
alert, price alert.
You're like, I don't want to know that. Yeah.
We all see what happened this last couple of weeks. Like, I've been losing money like crazy. Like,
right.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But
it will go back
up.
But one thing with the life insurance, I haven't received any notification that says anything is going down. Like,
right.
I think you give them their answer.
Right.
I did.
So it's so with our company, we don't gamble with people's money. For example, there's
401k.
Yeah, right. There's like bigger insurance companies, like my mom's significant other, he works for Transamerica, and what they do is they sell universal whole life. So essentially it's a whole life policy, stays with you your whole life, but it's tied to the S&P 500. So it's tied to like different stocks in the stock market. So when the stocks go up, then obviously your investment goes up. But if it goes down, so does your coverage and your investment. Yeah. Wow. So
sorry. I don't know.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that's why we don't do that. We just offer 5% flat cash back after 3 years.
After 3 years.
Yeah, and I also think you can still do the investment and
have life insurance.
Absolutely.
Life insurance and the investment, really, because we seen the stock market.
Yeah. Right.
Anything can happen. So I think if you into that alone, then I don't think it's a good idea. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
True. Just the people in the community. If anything happened to me today, the money, put it together, give it to my wife for my kids. Because don't worry about the funeral thing, because
you're covered.
I'm covered.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, which is good. Like I said, there's never enough. It's good if that money come, but also it's good. Also, like I have left something
to my kids.
Like there was a guy that was saying, you guys be seeing the wives crying, thinking, oh, my husband died. No, they're thinking about the bills they left behind.
Who's gonna pay for this?
Exactly.
Yes. So if we claim to love our wives, I don't think, and not to say we're gonna die first. Hopefully we die together at the old age.
Did not see that coming at all.
No, that's a very good point, because it has been projected that men are the ones going to die and leave the wife and kids.
That's true.
They know where all the knives are. But I feel like, if we claim to love our wives, I think when it comes to love is a very huge thing.
Yes.
And that's one of way to show, like, I love my wife. I don't want to leave this kind of burden.
Right.
Like you said, because Spanish against anybody marrying after 35. So let's say against
Beza.
So if you marry, one thing I will agree when it comes to that, when you marry at an old age and you marry a young woman or you have a young wife, you're most likely gonna die before her, and you don't wanna. If you leave her with those kids, you also wanna leave her financially stable.
Right.
You don't wanna.
Right.
So I think. That I do agree with you.
Thank you. My message is getting across very well.
Slowly we will get it.
Slowly. It's really good. I would love, like, during a funeral, people know that everything has been taken care of. Just show up, cry.
Just cry.
and put the flower on me as the casket is going down, and that's it. Go home and continue living. But
and also, it's the same thing. Even if they brought the money, they will go on with their own lives. Your wife and kids are going to
continue living
without them. They're not gonna be there for them all the time. So I think it's very, very
important.
And if I could add my 2 cents to what you just said, because I know this is not something that I explained, but for example, what we also have for that, we call it income protection. So it's a term policy. Yeah, everything can be covered. So, the whole life, like I was explaining, it covers you your entire life. So with the income protection, basically it's a 10-year coverage. Every 10 years, you either can renew it for another 10 or you can convert it to whole life. And with the income protection, what you can do is you can have your income replaced for your significant other for either 5 years, 3 years, or 2 years, or 1 year. So let's say, God forbid, you had a 5-year income protection, and let's say, God forbid, you died next year. So your wife will get your income on a month-to-month basis for 5 years.
Woo! Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so income protection
like I said,
is amazing.
We need to talk.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
It's funny. Now I like you. Even though you withheld those information,
Wow.
I'm starting to like you now.
Wow, Uncle T. Wow. Thank you. I'm happy that you admit it. I'll take that into consideration.
Compliments flying.
Thank you.
But no, it's really good. It's really very many valuable informations. I don't know if you have more.
No, I think we have to work next. I have to put a seminar together for her to come up.
Yes.
Explain to our people who may still like, oh, she's too intimidated. She speaks really fast. A lot of great English.
Speaking of English, in our community, do you guys have translators?
For what language?
I don't know.
Good question.
Like, do you guys have somebody aside if anybody with any language come like, oh, we have somebody?
I think there's a lot of company that they may use for that.
Yeah, I personally, so I go to a Christian non-denominational church, and in my church, there is a lot of Congolese, a lot of Spanish, Indian. It's an international church. And so I ask some of like my friends from church, like for Spanish, I have a Spanish interpreter. So I know people who speak Swahili. I know people, I know Chui.
Yeah, that's
Tree.
Oh, I don't. That's in West.
Yeah. So there are options.
Okay.
So yeah, if there's interpretation, if that's an issue, then
Okay.
yeah.
No,
So yeah, if you are in that boat and you feel like, act and let her know before the day of your meeting or your Zoom meeting, so that she can prepare.
Absolutely.
Have that person there to facilitate that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me speak to my African men.
Ooh.
Please put aside that, oh, she's a woman, she cannot help me. That's how you're gonna die. That pride is gonna leave your kids with no money.
Everything that you heard she talk about it, guess what?
Are you a less of a man? Are you a less of a man?
No, I'm fine. Nothing changes.
Good.
I just think, I have something bigger that if I'm not here today, my wife, my kids will benefit from
they
that.
They have to
Absolutely.
put that aside.
So
Absolutely.
everything that she talk about it, I'm covered under it. I have it.
So, good.
There
So
you go.
good.
Pioneer. You're the pioneer.
Yeah, so, if you guys are worrying
And if
about
they
that,
scam you, we're going to look for Spanish.
it's okay. I will take that responsibility.
Spanish is going to be our insurance.
No.
That's funny.
So-
It's not going to happen, because if that was the case, I think from 1961,
51.
51. Wow, 10 years, really?
before
You
even
wanna take off 10?
even my parents were born.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
right.
they, yeah. I don't know.
We have a superior rating by AM Best. So
Ooh.
yeah,
You
it's
hear
an A
all
plus-
this?
Jesus
A
Christ.
plus rating.
You hear all those
She's black
all
in
those
every corner.
credit, like she's, oh my God.
Yeah,
I think
so, no.
we will put a seminar together for
Absolutely.
this more
That would be
in the
amazing.
future, and only God will protect us. Stay safe. God bless all of you. Uncle Chi.
I don't know if you have a last word for our viewers
Just
and
gonna say
listeners.
thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Feel free to text me when you call. If I don't answer, it's probably because I'm with a client. I always answer my phone. So feel free to shoot me a text. And like I said, I really do want to have an open conversation and work within our community to help elevate one another. So please, reach out if this is something that makes sense to you and you want to take advantage of it, for sure.
Definitely. And what is that phone number again?
It's 303-523-8713.
All right. And we're also gonna display
the number on the bottom.
The number on the bottom and the company maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe a website.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
We will get all those information. Uncle, just to let you guys know that, from her to her manager, which I've met, Jordan, they are one of the nicest people that will make this whole transition smooth and easy like
Appreciate
never
you.
before. Like it was super easy for me, for my wife and my little one, even though
also sorry, last question. When it comes to employment, can you do people now they do independent work, Uber, Lyft, or those things?
100% can be insured.
All right.
100%.
no worries.
Every corner.
Every corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is
You
good.
just
We don't want to
reach
bring
out.
people that don't have all the information that want to give us half of the information.
Yeah.
So we are glad I'm glad thank you, Spunny, for bringing her. You didn't bring us somebody that I think they know, but really you brought us an expert, so I thank you.
You are very welcome.
And thank you for coming.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
So I don't know if you have.
No, I think, just reach out. That's my advice to you. Reach out to Beza.
Absolutely.
That's it. Reach out. Don't hesitate. It's okay to have doubt, but start the conversation. You will get a lot of your question answer, a lot of doubt answer. I was once in that boat, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Look,
I
today,
agree.
I'm proudly to say that my wife and kids are in good place.
Right.
If
Good.
God takes me today, so.
He won't.
That's very true. You will.
Yeah.
He's saving you.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for tuning to New
Absolutely.
Kids. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.